You're 31, 6 years of grinding and saving. Your home buying account just crossed $45,000. There's a property, 3 bedrooms, safe area, listed at $425,000. The agent won't stop calling. Interest rates could spike any day, barely anything on the market, wait too long and you'll miss out. Your family keeps hinting about how rent is basically burning cash. Your buddies, who became homeowners 3 years back, keep flooding social media with deck photos and kitchen makeovers. They love mentioning how they're growing their net worth and locked in at great rates. Meanwhile, you're staring at that $45,000, crunching numbers for what feels like the 1,000th time. At 6.5% interest, putting down 20% means $85,000 total. Monthly mortgage, $2,146. Property taxes, $4,700 yearly. That's $392 monthly. Homeowners insurance, $150 monthly. Upkeep costs, 1% of purchase price, roughly $354 monthly. Total monthly hit, $3,042. And that's before you've replaced a single broken appliance or bought any furniture. Right now, you're paying $2,200 monthly for a comparable rental. Your instinct screams that staying put makes financial sense. But the voices around you say otherwise, that renting equals financial suicide, that real wealth only comes through ownership. So here's what's eating at you. Which option actually costs less? And nobody's given you the straight answer. There's actually a calculation for this. It's called the 7% rule. Master this and you'll tune out the real estate pressure, ignore the family guilt trips, and base your choice on cold hard numbers instead of cultural mythology. And I obsess over understanding why people sabotage their finances, because conventional wisdom says rent money vanishes into thin air. If you're wrestling with the rent or buy question, or feeling bulldozed into purchasing something beyond your means, smash that subscribe button and drop a like on this video. Today, we're dissecting the rent versus buy dilemma with actual 2026 data. Fair warning, you might not like what the numbers reveal. Let's cut through the noise. Here's the myth. Renters waste their money. Buyers build assets. Sounds nice. Completely false. Here's the reality they hide from you. Homeowners waste money too, monthly. You're just hemorrhaging cash in different categories. Based on 2026 housing forecasts, renting is emerging as a legitimate financial strategy, not a fallback position, and the mathematics backs this up completely. Let me expose what you're really paying when you build equity. Home ownership comes with 3 massive recurring expenses that evaporate permanently, identical to rent. These are the true wasted money costs of owning property that everyone conveniently forgets to mention. Expense 1. Property taxes. The deed's in your name, but Uncle Sam still demands an annual cut based on property value. Average United States property tax sits around 1.11% of assessed value per year. For a $500,000 property, $5,550 annually, or $462 monthly. Vanished forever. Property taxes don't add to your equity. You're compensating the government for property ownership rights. Expense 2. Upkeep. Financial advisors suggest allocating 1 to 2% of property value yearly just for maintenance. Let's be optimistic and use 1%. On a $500,000 property, $5,000 yearly or $417 monthly. This covers eventual roof replacement, dying HVAC systems, water heater failures, foundation issues, plumbing emergencies. This cash evaporates. Fixing a busted furnace doesn't increase equity, it just prevents your investment from deteriorating. Expense-free capital costs. This part gets ignored completely, so focus here, because this drives the entire 7% rule. Your capital has opportunity cost. Lock $100,000 into a down payment, and you're sacrificing that $100,000 potential growth in index funds. Historical data shows the S&P 500 averaging 10% annual returns over a century. Real estate? Typically 4 to 5% yearly appreciation. The gap? Roughly 5%. That's your down payment's opportunity cost, the foregone returns from not investing in markets. Plus, you're servicing mortgage interest on the financed 80%. With current 2026 rates sitting around 6.5%, that's significant. Break it down. For a $500,000 property, down payment 20%, so $100,000, loan amount $400,000. Down payment opportunity cost at 5%, $5,000 yearly. Mortgage interest at 6.5% on $400,000, roughly $26,000 first year. Combined, $31,000 annually, or $2,583 monthly. Now total everything up. Property taxes 1.11%, maintenance 1%, capital and interest costs approximately 5%. Sum roughly 7% of home value annually. This is the 7% rule. To calculate true monthly ownership cost, home price times 7% divided by 12. $500,000 times 7% equals $35,000 yearly, divided by 12 equals $2,917 monthly. That's your actual monthly loss as an owner. Money permanently gone, just like rent. So if comparable rental costs less than $2,917 monthly, renting wins financially. No debate. Grab any local property price, multiply by 0.07, divide by 12. That's your break-even threshold. Does renting beat that in your market? Share your calculations in the comments. Now let's examine 2026 specifically, because current conditions are harsh. Redfin projects 6.3% average mortgage rates throughout 2026. That's marginally better than 2025's 6.6% average, but light years from the 3% pandemic anomaly everyone references. USA mortgage rates should hover near 6.3% in 2026 across multiple projections. Optimistic scenarios predict occasional dips into low 6% territory, but temporary rates below 6% won't last meaningfully. Property values? Zillow economists forecast 1.2% growth in USA home values during 2026, while Redfin anticipates the median USA sale price climbing 1% year over year. Properties continue appreciating, rates remain elevated, and affordability crisis persists, particularly crushing younger demographics. But examine rental trends. Through September 2025, median rents declined year over year for 26 consecutive months. Rental affordability improves while purchase affordability deteriorates. Nationally, expect rents climbing 2 to 3% year over year through late 2026, basically tracking inflation. That's sustainable. Homeownership expenses, however, lock you into whatever brutal rate you secure at purchase. Listen, I'm not claiming buying always fails. I'm claiming it fails right now for most people in most locations. Buying makes sense when you're staying minimum 10 years plus, transaction costs destroy short-term buyers, the 7% rule favors you, monthly ownership significantly undercuts comparable rent, then buy. You're putting down 30 to 40% plus. This dramatically cuts both mortgage and opportunity expenses. Rates crater to 4% or below. At 3.5% mortgage rates, purchasing would regain financial advantage over renting in many scenarios. Or you value intangibles enough to pay premium. Stable housing costs, personalization freedom, psychological security. These matter, but they cost real money. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Assuming 8% average annual investment returns, renters who invest the difference actually finish approximately $120,000 ahead over a decade in many current market conditions. Read that again. Across 10 years, renters who invest their savings differential can accumulate $120,000 more wealth than homeowners in equivalent properties. That's not marginal, that's transformational money. Homeowners are bristling right now, but my equity, but forced savings, but tax breaks. Let's dismantle these one by one. But I'm growing equity. Early mortgage years are interest-dominated. In a 30-year mortgage, your payments primarily serve as interest. At 6.5% on a $400,000 loan, roughly $2,167 monthly goes purely to interest in year one.